friend. In this video, I'm going to share with you the secret, the tool that I have developed for myself that helps me with coming up with film ideas so fast right now that it doesn't require for me even a minute to come up with a film idea. You see, if we are talking about budget limited filmmaking, we live in a really tricky world because you have to come up with the idea that can work in a budget circumstances. So if we all had $1 million or 5 million or a trillion, we could just let our imagination go. But we're not in this situation. So we have to switch the coin and to elevate ourselves, not with the production, but with something that we actually can control in the moment. So that would be script, and before the script, that would be the idea for the script. And my approach to screenwriting always has been that I have to concentrate on the page and to try to polish it as much as possible, because if I just concentrate that this is a bit that I have to fill in, this is a bit that I have to fill in, and this 3x structure, that if I concentrate on this story would end up being mediocre. And if I concentrate on the page, if I try to pump in as much as possible into this, but still, like not delivering too much, there are certain definitions of what is a well delivered scene, that if I concentrate on delivering on the page and making the best page it can be, all of the beats that I would have defined for the later, they wouldn't matter, because I would find out interesting ideas that would just shift my character understanding, the story understanding. None of it would matter. And I have taken that perspective towards looking for ideas. I had a long journey of looking for ideas, and it has been a long unconscious journey. That just means that I was just making as it came to me, just sometimes the idea dropped into my head and it would just happen. I didn't control it. And those ideas, I still consider those ideas to be the best, but they are of the nature that they come from the deepest of you, and I just cannot sacrifice those ideas for the budget echelon that I am in right now. I just can't let the idea that needs 10 million, let's say, to be shot for 10,000. I just can't. So for the moment of being, I just have to come up with the ideas that actually evoke interest from me, that aren't just the ideas for the portfolio, just a film for the portfolio. You make it so it's just there so people see that you can make something, And yeah, I had this long journey of unconscious looking for ideas, and only not so long time ago, I have understood what was the perspective that helped me to come up with the best of the best ideas. That not only could I apply to the best of the best ideas that need 10 million, but also to the ideas that I can make right now. And I always try to polish my ideas. So let's say if I wanted to make a film about philosophy, it wouldn't be about philosophy, it would just be a random thing, like a perspective. And I would just try to make 10 other versions with a slight defect in each and one of those to see which one is better. So I would always try to add up questions to my perspective. So if I want to make a film about a philosopher, okay, what type of philosopher do I want to make? Do you want to make modern philosopher, future philosopher, past philosopher? Is it female or male? What type of philosophy do they want to explore? And these are actually healthy questions. So I like after changing my perspective, I cannot even unthink like this new perspective is something that is so now basic to my thinking that I just cannot unthink it. So I'm just going to give it to you straight out. I have analyzed my films that I like, the stories that I've written that I like, that my heart just fires towards it. And I found that one of my films was about an illness, an original illness. And so I thought about like perhaps I have this deep desire towards originality. So if an idea isn't original, then I don't like it. I wouldn't pursue it. So that's one of the reasons why I was just lost in this wormhole of looking for perfect ideas. And then I analyzed another of my films, and it was homework from my film school. They just said you have to do short film, 5 minutes film, one shot film. And at the time when they told me I have to do it, I just went outside, looked around my house, and I realized I know exactly the type of story that I want to make. So I went back to the house 5 minutes later, sat down. Under 30 minutes, I had my page filled with the text that I didn't even change later. And I didn't understand how could something like this possibly happen to me? How can an idea come so quickly to me? Do I need somebody to dictate me what to do? And then I remembered how I came up with this idea of an original illness. I just was watching some Film Courage. Oh, what a channel! Film Courage videos, and one of the screenwriters just gave an advice that if your character has an illness, it would make a lot of difference. They would become, he, she, like they would become more interesting. Your character would become more interesting. So I just took it too personally, and I just decided that I would come up with my own type of illness. And it just came down to not really understanding what all of this is about. But then I remembered the interview from Quentin Tarantino, of interview that Quentin Tarantino gave on the set of making of Django Unchained. And somebody was asking about why did he decided to make a western in this modern age, and he said that if you want to make a western, you have to make your own version of it. And that just clicked for me. When I made a movie about illness, I just made my own version of a film about an illness. And when I made a 5 minutes one shot film, I just made my version of a film, or a one shot 5 minutes film. And I decided that perhaps I should stop be looking for this perfect, unrealistic, impossible, non existing idea. I just thought perhaps it doesn't even exist. Perhaps I should concentrate on something like this. And then I realized that I am not reflected so much in what I choose to make a story about, but in how I choose to make a story, to tell that story. So the idea is, yes, I am reflected in it, but I am also reflected much more in how I am telling that story. So that moment just clicked for me. All of those ideas that I actually have, that are top films of my imagination, they are all the same. I would just make my film. My film would be my version of this, my version of that. So if you want to find an idea that really clicks, don't be looking for so long. Just pick something. The necessity to look for a perfect idea comes out of insecurity to be capable to deliver while crafting that story. I am confident in my capability as a screenwriter. So if I want to make a story, I know that when I sit down to write, it's enjoyable for me. I just love writing, man. I just sit down and it just pours out of me. It's so enjoyable. And I'm not confident in my writing capabilities. I'm really confident in my writing capabilities, and it's just enjoyable. So yeah, try to find original ID, but don't be looking for ages. So when I understood this perspective that I have to make my version of something, I just decided that I would make a film about a notebook. Something stupid and ridiculous, as simple as that. Something so controversial to what I've been doing before. Nonetheless, I've decided to commit to that idea. And now I am halfway through writing this script, and it absolutely fulfills all of my requirements. My voice gets reflected on the execution of that idea. So with that being said, I wish you really great control over your craft. And subscribe to my channel, because I have so much more value to offer on this screenwriting, because I've spent more than 3 years writing stories, and because it's just something that I love to do. I just love writing stories. I love to find new tools. I love to create new tools. I love to optimize my time, and I love to share that with the world. So if you wanna to have a one-on-one call on screenwriting, I would just love to have it. I would just really love to have somebody else that shares this passion on screenwriting to have a conversation with me. If you want me to revise your screenplay, I would absolutely love to do that too. I'm just into this. I'm just into this. So if you're like me, just give me a hug, man. Just give me a hug, man, sister, whatever. Just like be my friend. Be my friend.